Just I give an orientation to the data management unit and its activities, how it established and what was earlier and what is now. When you look at the research data need, everybody, all the scientists, they produce the data in whether it is socioeconomic survey data or reading data, trial data, whatever may be the data. So we all produce the data, and for the data generation, collection and reporting and publishing, we require a repository where the data after curation can be stored in a proper format, and that can be shared and visualized, and we can give to the users. In ICRISAT, if you take an example of the ICRISAT, almost all 40 years research data is available with the scientists, especially during the past days, all the scientists, they are storing their data in their respective hard disks, maybe in their field books. But now there is a need to make sure that all the data is stored in a common repository, which is available whenever we need it. And sometimes if the program or project closes, then we need to make sure that the data is available for the future extension of the project. The goal of this data management unit and why we started the data management unit. Our main goal is to aggregate the research results, these research data sets, and produce across the institute and organize efficiently in a centralized data repository with a decentralized data management platforms. For example, if you take an example of VDSA, there is a separate platform. For the bidding, we have a separate platform, and for the other research projects, we have a separate platforms. But when we think about the institution level, we need to store all these data repositories and make a common platform where the people can access one-stop shop where they can get the access to all other platforms. Like if you have a common repository from where I can go to the VDSA, I can go to the breeding database and trial data management system. So we need a common central repository. So for the data in a proper format, we are taking help of biometric unit in all data curation analysis methodology. Abhishek, if you want to add something about the curation and how we do in ICRISAT. Okay, thank you. So what we do at ICRISAT as a data management unit, we developed user-friendly suite of workflows and protocols for the data management. We support the scientists. We help them to develop a protocols and metadata standards. The same thing can be used in their project plan. They can store all their data in a standard format so that when we want to integrate all the data sets into a common repository, into relational database, that will be easy. Otherwise, without the metadata, it's very difficult to integrate into a central repository. Maybe, isn't that for a sorghum crop, for a specific variety, the scientist is conducting trials. Likewise, other varieties, other scientists are conducting the trials. Without the proper metadata, there is very problematic to integrate all the varieties into a relational database. So we need to have a proper metadata format, and we are helping the scientists to develop a kind of standard templates where they can store in a proper format, and they can even check for the validations. If there is any errors, they can easily find out the errors before it comes to the repository. And for all these needs, we need to educate, or we need to make aware of the data standards and how it works when it comes to the central repository. And in terms of data visualization and sharing, we are always helping the scientists to make them for a better visualization and better sharing of their research results. When you look at this, slide this kind of evolution of the DMU at ICRISAT. Before 2010, there is not much of data sharing and publishing. Data is unstructured in terms of the integration, not with the specific to project, but unstructured means there is no proper metadata format when it comes to the standardization. And there is no relational database management. Then after 2010, we initiated the digitization of the research data. From hard copies, we converted into Excel sheets, and from Excel sheets, we made a transformation so that everything is in a central repository. And we initiated a few data management projects, and we started the central data repository where different data management platforms like VDSA, reading data management, all in one place now. And sometimes all these data sets need a kind of initial security features. Sometimes we can open our data to public without any access restrictions, but sometimes we need to keep some kind of restriction till embargo period. And our the VDSA project has started. Am I right? It started in 2012? Yes, VDSA. Okay, but when it comes to the data warehouse system, we started at 2000. Okay. And we initiated the implementation of Aware platform for the HOPE and TL2 projects. And we are working on different open source tools for the data collection, data curation. And we also introduced the agro-based plant breeding software. Our scientists are using it effectively, and they are using the agro-base for all their breeding data management related activities. Now the breeding data is in a central location with a relation database management. And now in the future, we want to make the policy about the data management, how the data is to be stored, who are the owner, and the citation. As a scientist, if you keep everything with them without sharing the data to the others, it is not of much use. Maybe some other people do the same research if these people are not sharing the data with the future. And we are also developing data management implementation guideline that gives the details about how the data management policy and what are the guidelines we need to follow to make sure that data is in a repository and data is open for the public use. And we are standardizing the metadata and data formats. And we are developing a decision support system where the research result is a base for the analysis, and based on the information and data, the policymakers can make a better decision. If you look at the strategy of the data management, if you look at the left side, we have 4 research programs. That is the source for all the data in ICRISAT especially. And we are working on different projects like breeding projects, VDS, that is a village dynamic survey, and HOPE TL2 and Gene Bank and other CRP projects. From all these projects and from all these research programs, we are getting the data, and we are making it into a central repository, and that is the base for our analysis and monitoring system. So when it comes to the central repository, now the data is ready for visualization and data sharing, so that the users can access with a less period of time. Otherwise, earlier, when you keep the data in Excel sheet, and if the manager or the policymakers ask for a specific report, then we are spending a lot of time to give a report that makes even around 1 or 2 months time. But with this help of the tools, now we can generate the reports within 1 or 2 minutes. That is the advantage of these tools, visualization tools and data sharing tools. So finally, we want to make sure that There is a one-stop shop for data aggregation, validation, and analysis, and day-to-day activities of the researchers. And we already established a centralized data management platform where all the different data various projects can be a part of that. And when we look at the right side, first we go for the requirement gathering. We discuss with the scientist and we gather the requirements specific to the scientist or a project research data management needs. Then we analyze what are the requirements can be part of developing application or tool. Then after the analysis, then we develop a kind of detailed requirement document where everything is detailed mentioned. Suppose if you want to make your data in a repository and with a specific user and with specific format, with specific analysis graph, we'll make everything in the document so that the developer, technical guy who developed the software or application can understand easily without asking every time the scientist, what is this, what is that. Then the development starts. We design how the application should looks like, and that takes a lot of time. Then after that, after designing phase is over, we implement in our institute. And then we test whether the particular tool or software is working perfectly. If there is any problem, we rectify it there itself. Then we'll go back to the implementation. And then we make it as a live for ready to use. Then after the application is ready, then we need to maintain for future activities. So this is the flow what we do here in ICRISAT. So we get the data from different research programs and research projects. Based on the objectives, we design the experiment of the application. Then before it comes to the data warehouse system, that what are the data should be curated. Only quality data will be available in the central repository, which is open, which can be shared with others. So quality is very much important. When we give the non-curated data or maybe with the errors, then people can easily find out the problems with the project. So when we give the research result, research data to the outside world, we need to make sure that everything is perfect. Otherwise, our credibility will be lost. So these are some of the ongoing activities. As you know, Jimmy is working on the Aware platform and now it is ready. So we are all coordinating with the scientists and the Aware people to convert this requirement into a reality. So almost all we took a lot of time, a lot of pain to convert the scientific requirements, needs into a application development. So initially this application is developed for specific projects, TL2 and HOPE, but that can be utilized for even other projects. Because now the product is ready, the same product can be used for different applications, for the data sharing, visualization and all. And we closely work with VDSA team, and we support it in the software requirement specification, document documentation, and we provide the technical advisory to our VDSA team, and we tested the application and its functionality. This is an integrated socio-economic data warehouse system. I think this is the first time ICRISAT has developed, and this is the first kind of socio-economic data warehouse system, right?
Yeah, this VDSA data warehouse, which uses this Microsoft SQL Server as well as this Microsoft Business Intelligence tool. It would be the first among the CGIR system who use such tool to have this integrated data warehouse.
Maybe you can give a more detail about it.
We'll be talking in the afternoon.
Oh, okay.
So we'll not taking more time. So it has both analytical features, online analytical features, as well as then this data retrieval system. Very user friendly, and so we will talk 3:30
Okay.
to 4:30.
Okay, thank you. And We are developing tablet-based data collection tools using open source tool, and we are using the commercial tools, and we are developing our own data collection tool. Depending on the budget availability, depending upon the project requirement, depending upon the maintenance, we decide whether we need to go with the open source tool or maybe with the commercial tools, maybe our own development tools. We are working on these three aspects, and we are giving the best product to the scientists for to go for the data collection. In the next session, we'll see what are the tools available for the tablet-based data collection. And I mean, apart from all these, we are closely working with the learning system to develop a online approval process when the students or the scholars come into the ICRISAT for their further research. And we are also started development of website where this is a kind of one-stop shop for all the data management needs. We'll have all the links here so that the scientists can go from here. They don't need to remember all the website names. So this is, I mean, kind of future activities we are planning. So we have a beautiful tablet-based application that's for extension. So that is called Krishi Jnana Sagar. So this can be used for the tablet or mobile-based application as well as the web application. So in the tablet-based application, we can go to the field and we can talk to the farmer. We can enter the information which farmer has provided to us there itself, and that can be directly submitted online within 1 second to the central repository where the people can monitor what are the results are getting out of the farmer interviews. Actually, this has been using in two different areas under the Bhuchatana project. So in the Bhuchatana project, we are going with the tablets and we are gathering the information from the field, the farmer information as well as the soil information, and that can be integrated and we can get the recommendations to specific to the farmer's field. And way forward, we are thinking to integrate all the data management tools and repository into a common place, and planning to automate all the CRP work plan repository so that each time the scientists enter the work plan, that goes to the database, and the supervisors can monitor effectively what are the work plans and what are the goals have been reached. And here we are using the Dataverse as a data repository. Right now we are all using effectively the Dataverse to store, backup all our data research data outputs. But right now our Dataverse is not integrated with the R software. R is an open source statistical software, but we are going to integrate the R software with the Dataverse as well as the GIS maps feature into the Dataverse, so that when we upload our data sets into the Dataverse, so that we can do our statistical analysis there itself without installing R into my desktop, as well as I can generate a beautiful GIS maps using the data sets what I exported to the Dataverse. And we are in always we in touch with the CZ system, where the best practices followed by other CZ centers will implement in our center so that we can use the best available application in the world. And we organize the capacity building programs like this to the farmers so that they get the updated technology inputs. Thank you. In the next session, we'll see the tablet-based data collection tools like the KSIConnect and other open source data collection tools. We'll give you kind of demo or exercises using the ODK toolkit, that is open source software anybody can use, and you don't need to create any database. Even you can use your Google account for your all data collection database. So you go to the field with your mobile, get the inputs and collect there itself using your mobile. Then if you have the data plan, you can directly sync with the server, and the data will be stored into the Google account. Then you can monitor and you can generate a beautiful report there itself. No, if you want to implement security, you can implement. If you want it to open to everybody, that's up to us. So based on the requirement, we can customize the tool. So tool is always ready for us to provide our need, but depends on how we use them. That is more important. So tool has all the facilities. If you want to have a restriction, you can give the restriction. If you want to share to a specific user, you can do that. And if you want to open to everybody, then you can do that.